So today we're going to talk about one of the biggest questions that I get asked, and that's why are men not courting women anymore? It just seems like everyone is lazy. Everyone has a lazy view of romanticism that's leaving both parties completely feeling unsatisfied. So we're going to uncover the reasons why men don't court women, how you have something to do with it, and how you can control that to turn it around in your life. We may not be able to change it for everyone out there, but in your life, you could stop this phenomenon from happening by applying some of the strategies I'm going to teach you guys today, okay? And it's actually very easy. It's just that a lot of people, when they're in the fog of love, these common sense things that I see is not common when you're in that experience, okay? So don't forget, today's not the last day. We're adding an extra week to get 50% off all of our courses using the coupon code BLACK and 20% off working with me one-on-one. The reason why is because I haven't responded to your messages as well. So because of that, some of you guys are going to be late putting that coupon in. So because of that, we're extending it another week. Okay, so let's begin this. So the first reason why that is that too many options. In other words, most people, when they meet you, back then, people didn't have as many options. A lot of options was having one or two girls to pick from, right? That's a lot of options. Nowadays, a lot of people have a lot of options or the illusion of options. That's why you see a bunch of ugly ass dudes saying no to pretty girls. Reason, because they think something's better is about to come. The reason why they think that's because they're delusional. They're being told by other men that you are the prize, when in reality there are 300-pound gorillas that live under the mom's basement. And so this delusion that people are having, it's really insecurity. It's making people think, you know what? I'll say no to her and find someone else. Or they won't try because they actually have options, right? Most likely you might be going after guys who have no need to impress you. In fact, who feel like you need to impress them. So going after guys that are athletes, super good looking guys, ego-driven men, super successful. These are the guys that are going to show the least romanticism. Because you gotta understand, man, when people are constantly praising you, your ego gets inflated. And so they don't feel the need to do anything about it, right? And these types of guys are of all ages, young to old, to be honest with you. Look at Jerry Buss, the basketball player of the owner of the LA Lakers in the 80s. He used to have sex parties with Magic Johnson while having a wife. Right? Guys like that are very difficult to change, right? So the next reason why that is that this I always complain about. Not meeting through FF, meaning not meeting through friends and family. When you meet, can you get a little further? When you meet through friends and family, there's a certain level of respect that they give you because they know your friends and family, right? They give you almost like proxy respect. Almost like when light hits this, the next thing it lights up, right? Like ring light, they call it, right? Secondary light. And so they give you this secondary respect. And because of that, they court you, they treat you right. If they know your parents, of course they're gonna treat you right. They might even go to your parents to ask you out. The presence of friends and family, especially a core family, causes guys to actually treat you with more respect, especially if he knows you have a dad, especially if he met him through acquaintances. But this increases the amount of respect a guy gives you, and thus the amount of courting, right? He's not gonna want to disrespect you because he wants to be able to show people that he's a gentleman. So because of that, you gotta understand, people are only good because people are watching them. Like, people only behave well because they know there are consequences. So when there is people watching them, meaning they're parts of your friends and family, they're gonna treat you better. Unless they're like a sinvergüenza who don't give a fuck, right? By that time, you're dealing with a monster. The next one is that women make it. Look, when I lived in New York City, I remember my first few dates, took them to a boat, took them to dinner, gave her a flower. No callbacks. The fuck? I was like, fuck this shit, man. I'm spending too much money. Then I went to rather than taking them on the drink, I mean, at the boat, I took him to the bar. I did Jack style. Took the bitch to Titanic. No, I'm kidding. Took her to the bar, and ironically, it worked. Ironically, they called me back. Listen, ladies, y'all seem to, some women seem to get awkward when guys treat them romantically, right? There's an awkwardness that some women feel when a guy's actually treating them nicely. It's foreign to some women. And the reason why it's foreign is because they're just not used to it. There's an awkwardness to it. And so some women might consider that lame, right? Oh, he's trying so hard. Oh, he gave me flowers. Do you know that if I give a woman flower, people would think that's simpy? The culture we live in, and women too. Some women feel like they'll go on dates with you out of pity or out of boredom. And if you give them a flower, they'll be like, oh, look at this peasant giving me a flower. Guys have been put down by being romantic to women. Like, I remember one time, man, I'm gonna say this right. One time, this actually happened last year. This was my attempt at being fucking romantic. There was this girl at school, and she had a bike, right? So I found out which was her bike, and so I decided to follow her home. No, I'm kidding. I followed her to the bar. No, I'm kidding. And so I found out which one was her bike, and then under the bike, I put a little flower with a note saying, "Hey, you have a secret admirer." And I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna work. This is gonna work." You know? And then the next day, she was like, "Oh my God, somebody gave me this flower. It was so sweet." And I'm like, okay. And my two friends knew who it was. And fucking, what's his name again? Oliver. He was like, what if it was the Lexus? She was like, no, of course he wouldn't. I'm like, motherfucking Oliver, he can't keep a secret. And I'm like, getting awkward. She's like, Lexus, why are you getting awkward? And I'm like, Oliver, shut the fuck up. Anyway, so she was like, who could it be? Could it be Matt? Could it be Ryan? I'm like, okay, get to my name, bitch. Nothing, right? I think she knew it was me because of fucking Oliver. But because of that, I swear to God, I was like, you know what? Fuck this romantic shit, man. Because it doesn't work. You think that fucking Titanic shit works? Give her a painting of you? No, that was traditional. People nowadays find that try hard. The culture we live in find these freaking romantic gestures that guys are... Ladies, if a guy's not being romantic, it's because he's been shamed to it. I'm just gonna be honest. Guys are wired to do creepy shit like this, right? Like, oh my God, you asked around, which one was her bike? Oh, and then you found a little pocket. You went there, make sure no one was looking. You hunched your back, looked left, looked right, and put it in there and walked away. Some women, I swear to God, tell other women that that's creepy. Guys are just not encouraged to do this nowadays, right? That's the first thing. Women make it easy. So what I'm trying to say is that this worked more than the fucking flowers. It worked more. So it just seems like it's more results to be less romantic and above all, more economical. It's a fucked up culture we live in, people, right? So it comes down to this one also. Women have lowered standards. Now, when I say lower standards, I mean you guys have lowered what you consider to be proper behavior for courting. You don't mind going to a bar, getting a few drinks. Ladies, honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. What I feel fucked you guys up is these gold diggers. Before, when a woman say, take me, I swear to you, I remember this, man, I'm old enough. When a woman told me, take me to a dinner with her, I never saw it as her being a gold digger. For some reason, anytime a woman asks me to take her to dinner, I think of like the YouTubers, the female YouTubers who tell women, if he doesn't take you to dinner, don't go out with him. Shira 7, those types of people who tell women to treat men as objects, just like other Andrew Tate tells men to treat women as objects, puts men in a defensive position. Just like the red pill puts women in a defensive position. So because of that, now a guy will not take you to dinner because his friends will say, yo, dude, don't take you to dinner. What if she's trying to bait you to get money from you? What if she just wants a free dinner? That happened. Look, man, one time a girl asked me to go, let's go get tacos. I couldn't get tacos with her because I left my card. I was broke at that time. Next day, she was like, hey, let's hang out tomorrow. I went to hang out, went to her place, went to get tacos. She went upstairs and never came back. People, And so it's almost like, and I'm not ugly. I swear to God, I'm not. So it's kind of like, if that happened to me, like, imagine an ugly dude, right? Oh my God, Father Alex is arrogant. I'm not ugly, okay? So yeah, that's one thing, right? Women have lowered their standards. They expect this from men. Again, good women are fucked because the bad women have put a lot of men on the defensive to the point where some men don't even want to get married, even though, damn, it is fucked. The marriage council, the marriage court in the United States. It's just how it is. Now the next one, men have been to men have been conditioned to see courting as silly and corny as shit. Man, you taking it to be romantic with her, man. That's gay as shit. Let me tell you something, man. Now, the guys that see romanticism as something beautiful is conservative men. Liberal men, the most of the guys that most women meet that are open-minded and open for anything, a lot of those guys may not be as romantic, right? And that's not all, but usually it's because these guys never had father examples, right? They never saw dad treat mom with respect and courting her. So the only guys that most young guys have are rappers. I remember a rapper, and it kind of like still stuck with me. There was a rapper that said, "Man, niggas say fucking ain't cool. They just ain't doing it right, right?" They condition you to only have superficial relationship. Man, fuck the bitch and throw it to the side of the road. That's the condition, and the reason why is because of overall resentment from women treating the way men treat them, and resentment from hearing how women treat men or how women pick the assholes over the good guys, right? It's like Forrest Gump, where she kept choosing the druggies rather than going out with Forrest Gump. What happened? She died, right, of AIDS because she just kept doing that kind of stuff. Where she just could have stayed with Forrest, who was a good guy for her, but because her party side, her dark side, unfortunately, I hate to say her liberal side, that's just how it is, people. I'm a liberal person, but I even know the toxicity. Cause her to gravitate towards the fun, the newness, the chaotic, which usually brings chaos in your life, right? So that's one thing. Men have just been conditioned to do that, right? Now, the next thing is that usually these complaints are from younger guys. So younger men usually are the ones that are not that romantic, right? They think of riz, not romanticism, riz, my words, right? They rely on doing as little as possible to seduce you. And that, like an economy of seduction, right? So because of that, these guys will see what they could get away with. Hey, honestly, the first time I asked a girl to come over to my place to watch Netflix as like to see, I swear to God, I was trembling. She was like, sure. I'm like, I don't have to go out. The fuck? I don't have to go to the bar, right? Next girl, same shit. I'm like, God damn. Next girl, she went to Florida, flat me out. Oh, that worked too? That was expensive though, right? So what you notice is that women just don't demand guys to court them. Hey man, yeah, I prefer to be courted. I prefer to be. I like you. I like you, but I like being a romantic. And it's not the money; it's the experience, right? The going above and beyond your way to make it nice and pretty. It could be a beautiful walk in a nice, beautiful place. It doesn't have to be expensive, right? A man, unfortunately, have been conditioned to get the poom poom as soon as possible. The problem is that most guys are dumb. They don't understand that it's better to seduce slowly than to seduce quickly. It's really a cultural value where culturally men want things quickly. People want things quickly. They don't want to work for things. If you notice back then, things were slower. Even courting was slower. Finding out that somebody likes you was slower. Nowadays, everything is faster, right? You find out that somebody likes you faster. It's like when you meet through friends and family, you don't know if this person, well, first of all, this person doesn't like her. You don't know if this person likes you until a few weeks or months. And that week and month creates a sense of uncertainty. Now, what happens when you stay in a state of uncertainty? It creates more anxiety, more insecurity. And that anxiety and insecurity chisels you in their minds and makes you even more attractive than you really are. That's how the mind works. It's literally an emotional facelift. He sees you as hotter than you are. It's like Shallow Hal, right? That's one thing. Like the culture has done that, right? And the next part, and that is actually really true, emotional coldness. First of all, I believe, I don't know, I believe there's more broken families now than before, more single parent than before, and also more emotionally detached. Kids nowadays don't talk to parents that much. There's a little disconnection between the families, and also families that don't have actual family examples. So because of that, it creates an emotional distance between the parents and the kids. And the same wiring that the brain uses to connect with your parents is the same wiring that the brain uses to connect with your partners. So it brings that same dynamic and recreates it in your relationship. So you have an overall gestalt of people who are emotionally distant, so distant that they don't even have a lot of friends. And that emotional distance also translates into relationships. They see intimacy as awkward, as weird. It feels corny, right? Oh, it feels lame. Oh, this corny ass emotional shit. But that what that really is a defensive mechanism. It's a shield, right? It's shielding yourself from love. You're shielding yourself from love through the rationalization that it feels awkward. The reason why is because your parents were never intimate with you. They weren't open, they were cold. And so you receive that coldness and you sort of you mimic it in your other relationships. So if it's the emotional coldness, I would prefer that you date people who have good family examples. I think you should judge their parents. Judge their parents. Because their parents, how the dad or mom behaves is how they're gonna behave with you. You know, did your dad ever cheat on your mom by any chance? Yeah, man, yeah, but multiple times, multiple times. I don't know why it's Tyrone. Multiple times. Oh, interesting, interesting. Did your dad hit your mom? Oh man, I saw my dad beat my mom multiple times, man, but she forgave him. Oh, interesting, huh? What the fuck do you think that puts you in this situation, right? People mimic relationships. So look at their family members. Look at how their family is. If their family is chaotic, I'm not gonna, don't say judge them too much, but most likely it might reflect that same chaos in your life. And the next one is that you choose emotionally distant people. You find it mysterious. You find it intriguing. In fact, sometimes we are afraid of intimacy, and so we choose partners who are emotionally distant. We unconsciously create situations in our lives that makes it difficult for a partner to be there in a secure way. So a lot of the times, it can also be self-sabotage. We sort of push our happiness away, right? It's like Forrest Gump, right? Forrest Gump, he wanted to be with her. He was actually protecting her a lot, right? And if you watch it, you're like, yo, just stay with Forrest, you dumbass, right? Who's the dumbass here? And she just kept going back and forth. And the reason why is because she just feared intimacy. She would be there and then leave. That's an avoidant person. And so a lot of the times, if you have it, if you're also emotionally distant, what you're gonna do is that to sort of keep the distance, but fool yourself into thinking you want love, you'll find those people attractive, right? And what will happen is that you'll be drawn to the darkness. You'll be drawn to the mystery, right? You just get attracted to the mystery aspect, right? And that is once again a person sometimes lacks intimacy with themselves, right? And that's one of the reasons why, right? So this is why men don't court women. And how do you fix this issue? Meet them in real life through your friends and family. First things first. Understand their family dynamics. If they have unstable family life, if they're not family oriented people, if their dad didn't woo their mom consistently and he never saw that example, he may not do it with you. Now, sometimes people are raised in that way. It's like the story of the two twins. Two twins were raised by an alcoholic dad. The one became super successful, one became a drug addict. And people asked them, hey, why are you a drug addict? Well, my dad was an abusive person. And they asked the successful person, hey, why are you successful? Well, I had no choice. My dad was an abusive person. Same shit, right? So you can't really judge people on that, but you could, right? Judge them for that, right? Let them prove you wrong. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget we have 50% off all of our courses using the coupon code BLACK and 20% off working with me one-on-one. We're going to extend it to the 7th of January. Again, the reason why is because I didn't respond to a lot of your emails and you guys are like, oh, I'm not going to make it on time. So I'm extended because this month I've been kind of lazy. So that means you could purchase Nice Girl, which is a course on how to become more assertive, Natural Chemistry, which is a course on how to improve your personal relationships, Psychological Game of Attraction, which is a course on how to go from single to a relationship, Emotional Mastery, which is a course about emotional mastery, and The Feminine Woman, which is a self-help course for women on how to set and achieve their goals and how to increase your self-esteem, and above all, Charisma Blueprint, which is a course that I made for people who want to develop charisma. You can purchase individually, 50% off the $99 price, or purchase the bundle where you get a discount on the bundle and then 50% off the bundle, right? So use the coupon code BLACK. Now, people, you guys might ask, oh shit, I can't spell. You guys might ask why I put black. Well, because it was Black Friday and I didn't change it. Laziness. Anyways, take care.